I was at work and I made a quick video discussing, the news when it broke. You guys can go check that out. But let's talk about it real quick. What's next for the Atlanta Hawks after firing Nate McMillan? What you guys need to know is the Hawks are 29 and 30. Nate McMillan's third season as head coach, fourth with the team, and the team is in eighth place. They lost 8 of their last 13 games heading into the All-Star break and rank 23rd in points differential. Lead assistant head coach Joe Prunty will take over as Atlanta's interim coach. He previously served as the Bucks interim coach in 2018, and they actually went into playoffs that year. The Atlanta Hawks hired or promoted Nate McMillan to interim coach back in 2021 when they fired Lloyd Pierce. That led to them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Last year was his first full season. I guess this was his third season coaching, but fourth with the team. In December, we heard about that whole issue between Nate McMillan and Trae Young, which Trae Young and Nate McMillan's relationship was one of the reasons why Nate McMillan was originally hired. But they had an exchange which led to McMillan telling Trae Young not to show up. Trae Young didn't show up. And Nate, after this instance, Nate McMillan almost resigned from his position in December. Young ended up continuing to have a strained relationship with Nate McMillan, similar to the one he had with Lloyd Pierce. Nate McMillan ends up being 99-80. So why did the Hawks do this? The reason they did this was he lost the locker room. They're eighth and they needed to make a change. So where does the team go from here? Now, Atlanta did not underachieve with Nate McMillan. The team gave up a lot in the trade for DeJounte Murray. The chemistry between Murray and Young has yet to develop. And the Atlanta Hawks have become one of the worst three-point shooting teams and continues to be one of the worst defensive squads in the league, despite Nick McMillan's efforts to fix this. And this team doesn't have a leader, starting with Trae Young. But Mick McMillan is not the most creative offensive guy. He's the defensive guy. And he's been criticized at times for not giving the young guys playing time at all. So the focus is on a coach who can develop young talent while having a good mind. That's why we've heard Kenny Atkinson, Charles Lee. To Kenny Atkinson, we saw what he did with the Nets, and then he turned down the Hornets last year. Jordi Fernandez, I don't know too much about him, but he's with the Kings. I do know some stuff about Mitch Johnson, great assistant. South Bay's head coach, Miles Simon. Quin Snyder's a complex offensive mind, but he's a genius and he can develop. Landry Fields said that they've been monitoring something. I personally think they need to hire M.A. Udoka. If there was any coach out there who could fix this right now, it's M.A. Udoka. And Landry Fields said we just haven't seen enough progress. Fields added that McMillan was a class act. We appreciate the graciousness and the work ethic he brought, but it was in the best interest of the team to move forward. Now, again, Quin Snyder, it's been rumored that the first year with Quin Snyder is a wash because it takes 1 year to implement his system. So I don't think they have time for Quin Snyder. Okay, Jordi Fernandez. Let's do a quick little read into Jordi Fernandez. Jordi Fernandez is 40 years old. He is with the Sacramento Kings. He was with the Denver Nuggets before that. So and he started out with Mike Brown. So he's a Mike Brown disciple. He was born in Spain. Okay, he's actually from. I really like this guy. If he's Spanish, oh baby, and he helped develop Keegan Murray. I'm a fan, and he led the Cannon Charge in the 2 seasons he was head coach of the Cannon Charge to 62-38 record, and lost both years in the semifinals of the playoffs. So I really like Jordi Fernandez. If they're going to go for a first-time head coach, Spanish basketball coach, Jordi Fernandez, who's also the assistant head coach for the Nigerian basketball team. I like that move. I really like that move. Jordi Fernandez right now is my number one guy. Second guy, if out of the guys I personally think the number one guy is Ime Udoka. But out of Jordi Fernandez, Charles Lee, Kenny Atkinson, Mitch Johnson, Quin Snyder, I would say I really like Jordi Fernandez after my quick search. Then Kenny Atkinson, then Quin Snyder are my 3 guys out of the guys that they've listed. I personally, again, I think that it's in their best interest to go out and see if they can get someone like an M.A. Udoka who can come in and there needs to be accountability. I think that's a big thing people aren't realizing is there needs to be more accountability here. There's not enough accountability, and I think that's just something that needs to happen. Okay, and obviously it hasn't. So I do want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think of all this? Am I wrong for thinking this, or do you guys agree with me? I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting situation that should have happened earlier in the season. Let's be honest, but we beggars can't be choosers. as I always like to say. So, I mean, it's good that they get it done now. It could have been worse if they waited, but still, I think this is a situation we need to just look at how it's all playing out and how this can be improved. So I do want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And if there is anything I might have missed, let me know. Peace out, guys. Goodbye, everybody. Got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Bye-bye.